I'm Stephanie, and this is Snowdome of the Day, the Advent edition. Today is the 9th day of Advent and the 99th Snowdome of the Day. The number 99 made me think of bottles, and I present to you a Coca Cola figural bottle Snowdome. This Snowdome would be considered a cross collectible, and that it would be collected by Snowdome collectors and collectors of Coca Cola advertising, people who collect anything that is advertising, and also people who collect bottles. So there were probably a good number of these made when they first came out, but a number of people would be looking for this. So even though there were a good number, it could be difficult to find. This Snowdome is Christmas. We see a tree inside of it, a bow, and an actual string of lights. You shouldn't do that. Strings can fall apart pretty easily, much quicker than plastic usually. And of course there's snow in that dome as well. I looked at this dome and I was remembering an advertising jingle, really a song, that I found out was from 1971. That's within my lifetime, but a very long time ago. The part that I remembered was, I'd like to buy the world a Coke. But the first verse starts, I'd like to buy the world a home and furnish it with love. I read a little bit more about how that song was created. At least one of the advertising writers for this song had been on a plane, an international flight that was grounded in, I think it was Ireland, and there were a lot of angry passengers. Angry. Once they were able to reboard the plane and get going again, he noticed before the boarding that a number of those people who had been angry had quieted down and were enjoying time together drinking Coca Cola. And he thought to himself, isn't that interesting how people have calmed down and they're in this common space together and they're enjoying this beverage that, in spite of all their differences, they're able to enjoy together. So he told his writing partner that he had this idea for a song about how he'd like to buy the whole world a Coke so that they could all have that feeling together. And the writing partner was kind of like, yeah. So the person with the idea said, well, what's wrong? And the writing partner said, well, if I could buy something for everyone in the world, I would buy everyone a home and I'd furnish it with love. And so the first verse of the song, according to Coca Cola legend, was born. My word of the day today is home. It figures in the nativity story, the idea of people traveling from one home and making a temporary home where their child is born. But I think it also speaks to the notion of justice, which is infused throughout the season of Advent. What we hear are these compelling words, the notion that what's most important is not the advertising jingle, is not a sweetened beverage, but that every person has a home and that every person finds love. These are matters not just of kindness, but of justice, and are especially relevant this year when we are finding a record number of evictions in the midst of an international pandemic. Here in Omaha, eviction court is open, even though many people think that evictions have been halted. And those eviction hearings are being held in courtrooms where people are not required to wear masks. So for people to try to save their home, save their family from being evicted, they're risking their life entering a space where people are not wearing masks. It's a difficult and dangerous time, and I don't think it needs to be that way. So one thing our church is trying to do to help is to raise money for the utility fund at Together to help those people who might lose their homes because they can't afford heat, light, water to stay in those homes. It's much more cost effective for people to not become homeless. It's much more just that all of God's children have a home. And it's one way that we show our love for one another, to make sure our neighbors have homes. So today, I thank you for joining me for this 99th episode of Snowdome of the Day, and the 9th day of my daily Advent adventure. And I give thanks for all those who seek justice, and I pray that all of God's children will always have a home.